We've got audio, and let us begin. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone else accompanying us. On this rather precious, radiant, spectacular day of Shabbat, today being the 17th day of Bull, the 8th month of the year 5994 from creation, corresponding to the 8th day of November of 2025, you'll study yet another chapter of Wisdom and Discipline, Part 40. I'd like to congratulate those who have had a birthday during this week, even today and tomorrow, even because the days for many of you are already changing, depending where you're listening from to Sunday. So then we include it up until tomorrow, which are as follows: Giovanni Espinal Berroa, the Dominican Republic; Brisa Denise Dolores, Vicente, Mexico; Saret Axa Soto Plata, Venezuela; Sara Belén Vicente, Mexico; María Guadalupe Montes Moreno, Mexico; Sandra Regina Lobo David, Brazil; Beatriz Ferrazano, Venezuela; and Harold or Arnold Lopez, Colombia. To each and every one of you, a great big hug on behalf of all the eternal truth. Many, many blessings. May it be your last or one of your last birthdays under this nefarious government of Babylon. So receive a great big hug on behalf of the eternal truth. Very well. Boca Boca. What a great game we played against Estudiantes de La Plata. When it seemed like we could not beat them anymore, we turned the game around. It was such an emotional game, huge. And tomorrow we play against River. This game, we have to win it. 11:30 Californian hour. My hour. We're transmitting an hour later because they changed our time in our time zone during last Sunday. I didn't let you know because I didn't notice. I forgot. I actually didn't have the least idea. I found out later. We're transmitting an hour later for you because they changed the time zone here for us. I hate the time zone changes, but oh well, that's the way they are. And tomorrow at my time change, well, give or take at my time, around this hour you can connect and watch at this time, but tomorrow it is the unique opportunity in which Boca has to crush our opponent, these Masons. We have to crush them. We have to know what will happen. That is my wish. Actually, for Boca to have a huge, important game. If we go just to tie, because the tie kind of is convenient, but the things won't. We have to really crush them by a lot. That is what we've got to do. Tomorrow, Boca plays against River Plate. River has been playing very badly. Their coach, which they made him a god with a statue and all the rest, like I've already told you. It would seem that he went directly to the third heaven, like Paul would say, because his ego became so huge that he doesn't even know how to play soccer. So he wants to save the potatoes by beating us. That's why River comes to win. They come to beat us. There's a lot at play. The one who wins kicks the other guy out, practically out of the Boca Libertadores. Last time they laughed at us for 2 years that we haven't been to the Copa Libertadores. But we are in the position of really kicking them out of there for them not to play. Boca has to win. We have to get energy, draw it from wherever, and win this game. Just by their balls and heart, we have to win this game. Boca will win tomorrow. Do not let me down, boys. This time it is way more than just by points, it is by honor. We have to crush the chickens tomorrow and kick them a brutal kick to River, to Gallardo, and this whole entire Mason club. So then tomorrow we have to win. Let's begin with today's subject. Shema Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our God, Yahweh is one alone. It's not two beings, it's not three beings, it's only one being. This is the first key that allows us to start to discover the mysteries which are entirely outside of the sight of people. If it's not opened with this key, nothing in the Bible can be understood. God, the Creator, is only one being. He doesn't have a companion, doesn't have a son. It's only one being. His son is the Messiah. John 8:31-32, then Yeshua said unto the Jews that had believed on him, if ye were to remain in my word, then you shall truly be my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. What word? The word of the Messiah. Not that of Moses, not that of God, the Creator, not the biblical word, the word of the Messiah. That is what the text says. Why? Because the word of God is concealed. Proverbs 25:2. That is why it is important to differentiate what is the word of the Messiah than the word of God. It is the glory of Elohim, it is the glory of God the Creator, is to conceal the word. The word is concealed. Yet the glory of the King, which is the Messiah, is to search out the word, and when the Messiah searches out the word, what he speaks is the truth. If you read the word of God directly without the Messiah in between, then it is concealed to your eyes. The only one that discovers the word to every human being is the Messiah. Because the rest of the people will say, Jeremiah 16:19-21, Yahweh, which in this case Yahweh is Yod Hey Vav Hey, which is I am that I am, which is not referring to God the Creator in this case, but the Messiah made God, in other words, the new God, my strength and my stronghold, my refuge in the day of tribulation. Unto thee shall come the peoples, all the peoples from the ends of the earth, and shall say, only lies was the inheritance of our fathers, vanity to which there is no avail. If it is men that makes themselves gods, then they're not gods. That is why, behold, I shall make it be known unto you, this time I shall show them the strength of mine arm, and they shall know that my name is I am that I am. It's not God Creator, but it is the Messiah, which became in the God of the earth. Here we've got these characters that we love. Let's see if they're in the correct place. Let's see, perfect. We have the flat earth. We have Boca, 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 Boca. We have Power Wolf. It's kind of covered. I don't want to cover anyone here. Don't get offended, boys. There's a flower that's covering a bit. Just a little bit this one's face. Let's push it forward a bit. No, we don't have Diego. Where is he? Can you bring him over? Let's place him. Since he's lower here, he can be there. There he goes. And now we have Diego. We have Diego here. Which is in heaven. No, he's not in heaven. He is in an unknown land to human beings, which is called the world of the dead. In the world of the dead, that is where Diego is, waiting for the Messiah to go and resurrect him. That is where El Diego is. In that world of the dead, the only one that will have a key for that is the Messiah, to enter as if it were a country, a universe, an exclusive world, to be able to bring them from there. So then El Diego is waiting there in the world of the dead, that soon he will receive the command for him to come out of there. Remember that you can ask me questions, and I want you to ask me questions. Send them to my personal email on Facebook. You write to me in Facebook, and you ask me whatever questions you want. Proverbs 1:2, it's the New Living Translation. The purpose of the Proverbs is to teach wisdom and discipline, and to help people to comprehend the intelligence of the wise. Very well. I'll answer some questions which are obviously they're a year old, except for one that was asked for last week that I'll answer too. They asked me publicly in the previous video, but we have this question first. Well, I'm going to leave this for the end. Number one, okay, before the questions, I'd like to thank, I received this week, which are my vitamins that we take, which are sent by Madeline. Thank you, Madeline, for sending these vitamins. They've arrived perfectly well, these vitamins. Many, many thanks. They're very, very good, and they've arrived perfectly well. And Saeed sent me this gift, which are all real Egyptian coin bills. For example, this one is 5 piastres, tiny, a real one, a real Egyptian bill. I'll show it to you in person later. This one is 10 piastres, a bit bigger. You get the pyramids. This one's a little bigger. Then you've got some that are 4 of the same size. Look at this. How difficult it is to have bills of different sizes. And then we've got one that says that this one is from 1 pound. It's 1 pound. Piastres must be cents. It's from Egypt, 1 pound. Right here. This one here. This one is 10 pounds. 10 pounds. Made me remember the English bills because it's got this transparent. Very cool. Very cool. Very special paper. Nothing to do with the dollar. Kind of shiny, kind of plastic. It's got 50 piastres. 50 piastres, which 50 cents, something, I imagine. 50 piastres. We've got this one. And then we've got one that is 25 piastres. So the one that has the most value is this one, the 10 pound one. The 10 pound one. So then they're all bills that says the Central Bank of Egypt. The Central Bank of Egypt. So then I've got Egyptian coin. Very, very good. Very interesting. Many things, Saeed. They've arrived perfectly well in this envelope. Here they are. I don't want to forget, because they'll go to my envelope of a collection. I have many different bills that I've got. So then many thanks for your presence. Very well. So then I'll leave this for the end. This question. Let's go with this one. It says, hello, Christian. Greetings. It's been very good teachings, nutritious to our lives, because we've still got things that we've got to learn. Christian, when I go out into the street and I see how the people go and buy things here and there, I'll ask you if for the time in which LBE reigns, that if even money will be used, will it have the same value, or I don't know. I was just thinking about the situation. Do you believe in that the value of coin will exist? We're talking about the new world. Well, the value of the coin will exist. Well, I believe, under the thoughts that I have now in this time, humanly speaking, that yes, for me, that a form of money has to exist. For me, it is vital for the trading of things. I'm not talking about huge goods, but small things. I'm saying that money has to exist in one way or another. Could be a royal, like gold, or a bill, something, I don't know. But in my point of view for now, and I'm just saying for now, Well, value that later, but for now, I do not conceive a world without money where everything is just trading or by gift or loan. No, there has to be a form of value to give value to things. A form of credit must exist also, and I'm referring to credits like, I don't know, it could be any type of conjecture. There has to be a form of money, value, to buy things that would be interesting, to sell things. That's what I believe. Not with wanting to earn money with it or to accumulate to make properties. No, for things that are a lot smaller and just lesser. But this is what the thought that I have for now, without having received the things which Yahweh has to give us. Maybe with a different vision that it's a lot more wise and intelligent, we could incorporate some other type of system. But for now, I do not see any other system that is not than to trade through some sort of coin, money that doesn't devalue ever, that doesn't have any competition, that doesn't suffer any type of inflation, or and also without interest. I think that that would be something that we could not have a society without money. That's what I think of today. So then I do believe in the value of coin, an actual real coin, a coin provided by the government, for it to never lose its value. That is what I think of today. Very well. This is the question that came up last Shabbat. You can find it. I'll tell you who wrote it, because it's publicly found in last week's video. It is Tommy Viviani from the last study, from Wisdom and Discipline 39. It says, what an incredible study. I've got 2 questions. I know that it's not the place, but I'll take the advantage of the occasion to solve something that has been going around in my head. What happens about pre-existence? Could it be feasible in all of us? My answer is yes and no. Yes and no. Pre-existence consciously? No. No. My head cannot make an image that's logical, nor that it has any sense that we have pre-existed with a conscious in a different dimension, plane, or existence. No. No. Now, pre-existence, because Yahweh the Creator created us on the 6th day of creation and created us as a soul, like the dead are now, without consciousness, but created already, yes. That's why the answer is yes and no. I do not believe that God is creating souls right now. No, that's not, my mind does not consider this. He says that on the 6th day he finished everything and he completed the army in all their host. From what I understand, he made all the souls with number even. So then those souls already pre-exist and are spread out in the measure that we are being born. He places those souls. The soul exists. What is not existence, the pre-consciousness for something to exist, and then we have consciousness to something which does not exist at all, and it exists when 2 people have sex and a being is begotten. That is when a new soul it starts. I don't believe that. I do believe in the pre-existence of the souls unconsciously, because Yahweh created them and numbered them. It's a finite number, a number that does not grow. It's precise, but I do not believe in a pre-existence that is conscious in any way, being in a human being or anything else, or angel or anything. So then yes, that's it. Pre-existence, yes, subconsciously, because Elohim the Creator created everything, and he spreads it throughout 6,000 years, but in a conscious pre-existence. Second question, it says, and the following question is whether God is, if God is Satan, then the Satan worshippers worship God without knowing? No, absolutely not. Because one thing that we understand is that the figure of Satan that created the world is God. To worshiping that figure that's created by the world, which actually is non-existent, because it's still God, then they're not worshiping God. Like also, they're not worshiping gods that worship God directly. The Jews that worship Yahweh with name and all, they don't worship Yahweh because they don't know Him. They don't worship Yahweh. If those who worship supposedly worship Yahweh with the greatest of the solemnity and greatest best of intentions, indirectly because He created the people of Israel, then if I say and I sustain that they cannot worship Yahweh under any aspect with the Torah, not fulfilling those laws or anything, there's no worship towards Yahweh. It was all creation of a religion that was not a worship to Yahweh. So then if those that say and they mention God, they don't worship Him, how are those who worship Satan gonna worship Him when they think that He's either a fallen angel or some other type of God that is against the other God? Then by the rule of three, if this one is that one, then I don't worship this one, then I worship Yahweh. No, they don't worship Yahweh. They don't worship Yahweh, not even those who worship Yahweh. So then those who worship a figure of Yahweh, even less. Aside from the fact that the idea that they have of that Satan that they worship, it's not exactly Satan. First of all, because Satan as a being does not exist. And they worship a being separate from God that they think that exists. So then not because of that are they going to be worshiping God. That's first of all. They're worshiping a non-existent figure, and Satan does not exist. All the things that God did, He didn't do them as Satan, but by doing something that is contrary to the will of humans, like they think, then they call that figure Satan. There's never been anyone whose name was Satan, not even God. It was God Himself that did certain things, and He would name it as if it were Satan, but there's no Satan, nor would He play the role of Satan, nor did He look like a Satan. Let's see if you can understand me. That figure never existed. The one who deceived, and I can't say that he deceived, but the one that spoke with Adam and Eve, it was not Satan, but it was God under a different figure. But it's not that figure later continued its own course. No. He deceived them in that moment under a cover of a serpent, but never again did He use that serpent. So then even if I worship the serpent, I'm not worshiping anything. It's an invention. So then those who worship Satan, they worship an invention. And they don't want to worship Yahweh. And not even by close do they worship Yahweh. So then I want that to make that very clear. And those who worry, not even those who worship Yahweh, nor the Christians, no one worships anyone. Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Never did humans worship God. Ever. They worshipped figures which God placed, but not God, the true God. So then even less can those who say that, oh, we worship Satan, can worship Him because he's against... No, of course not. They are absolutely ridiculous, stupid idiots, and they don't know what the fuck they're worshiping. They're going to have to learn what worship is, because they're worshiping out of rebellion, because they think, no, nothing, it doesn't exist. Very well. So then, thanks LVE, a great big hug from Buenos Aires. Aguante boca. It's not written, but I added it. Aguante boca, boca, boca. We've got the questions. This is the last one. This one's more complex. You're going to learn many things that I want for you to, if you understand them correctly, what I'm about to teach, it'll help you in your life. We have lots of wisdom, and I'm an apprentice. Of everything that I speak about, I'm an apprentice. There's no experts. We're barely grasping the idea, having a glimpse of it, and I'm going to make you know concepts thereof. That if you start to apply in your life, you're going to see changes. But it doesn't come from an expert person. I'm also an apprentice. And I tried to apply this and I've seen fabulous results. There are things that we don't know. But I'm still an apprentice. Here, not everything is revealed. It hasn't been shown to us, but there are certain principles that it's difficult for us to learn because I'm about to teach. It's difficult. It's difficult. We have it so rooted in our mind and in our way of being that to start to apply this little by little, actually, it is a way of living, and it's a way that we're not going to see an immediate result, but with practice and with the development of faith in what I'm about to teach, you start to see results that are marvelous and incredible, until I can even say that are extraordinary outside of human logic. So then, what I'm about to teach is very, very important, and let every one of you to start to assimilate these concepts and to start to practice them. This is pure wisdom. How does it work? I'm going to explain certain things how it works, but not everything how it works. The question is as follows. Hello, Master. Blessings to your lineage and success in every environment of your life. Thank you for every subject that you have placed out into the world. These really are words of life. It is fascinating to me, the segment of questions and answers, because your wisdom is unique in these times. Thank you for sharing it with me. I want to ask you something about the subject that you talked about last Shabbat. That was a year ago. Could you amplify the subject about the decrees, beliefs, and manifestations to achieve what we desire? Excuse my daring, but I'd like to know how to start or what to do to achieve what I wish. I've heard many people about the subject, but I'd like to hear it from you, my teacher. I make affirmations, and in them I include the I am part of the Messiah. I am part of the anointed of Yahweh, and I try to feel that I am already and to act as Yeshua acted here on earth, by helping people, respecting them, being kind, and having empathy. I hope that it's of your pleasing my request, and that I can receive of you the wisdom that I need. Thank you for so much. Thank you for everything. Aguante, let's go LVE, the Argentinian nation, and the Messiah of Yahweh, and Aguante Boca. Let's go Boca. I added that too. Let's go Boca. Let's go Boca. The question is as follows. Could you amplify? It's not a question. I'd like to know. The subject about the decrees, beliefs, and manifestations to achieve what we desire. Well, this is the subject that I'll develop here in a short time, that it's in which I'm an apprentice. I want to become an expert in this, at least to achieve a greater depth and power in this. And it's something that I'll share what I've discovered, what I've learned from many other people, and that I've seen what works and what doesn't. And I've tried to give a logic to all this, some logic to it, and much of what I'm going to say doesn't have logic. It's just pure magic per se, just magic. It is to believe or bust. Decrees. It is very easy to say what you decree and you believe it is fulfilled. But I'd like to give of what I understand a little more what the mechanics are. But to develop this, I want you to understand a principle. This principle, I've taught it in Germanic medicine, to create To believe is to create. To believe is to create. What does it believe? What does it mean to say believe, create? It's too easy to say you believe it, you start to create it. No, it's a special mechanic. The thing is that we, human beings, we have two egos, two me's per se. I'm going to call one me number one. Me number one. And there is a division, even if it's energetic, physically, or of any nature. And there's something else. The me number two. And these make a one unit invisible. We have two me's. In other words, two me's. And I'm not talking about how psychology treats that about ego, the super ego, the superior. No, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make sense. Just certain things and other things. I'll explain it differently. We have two me's. It is so clear. We have me and me. The first me, this one, is the one that speaks. The one that speaks. The one that thinks. When you generate, you're thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. This is bad that I did this is bad that I did that. That's me number one. The one that speaks, that expresses himself. That expresses himself. And that you believe that it's the only one that exists. But in turn, you know that another one exists, and that's the one you speak to. Me number one is the conscious me. We could say it's our consciousness. It is the more dumb me. I'm going to say things that I don't want to say because they affect my me. But to teach them, I have to tell you, it is the dumber me, the less intelligent, the one that doesn't know how to calculate. He just learns some calculations and forgets. It is the less logical me. It's the me that can't do anything. There was the one that speaks, can't do anything. Can't do anything, not even synchronized. And every time he wants to interfere with the other me, he does everything wrong. Because there's a great difference between the me number one and me number two. Don't look for this in psychology books. You are not going to find it. It's a different way of explaining what I'm explaining. Just follow me. There's two me's. The one speaking, and there's a me that's a lot more powerful. Way more powerful. Does calculations that me number one could never do. Me number one could barely even control certain things that he's doing consciously at the same time because he has to do two things. It gets complicated or forgets completely. So then me number one generally can do only one thing at a time. That's good. Me number two can do thousands of things at a time. Me number one is slow. Me number two is super fast. Such a potential that you cannot calculate. And he likes to learn. And likes to listen because me number one speaks. He speaks. He's me number one. He speaks and speaks and speaks. And he believes that he does this and that. Doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. The one that does everything is me number two. And me number two is the one that does all of your functions, from breathing to control every organ, to control the levels of everything to the second in your body, what you need, what you don't need, what it anticipates in certain things. That me number one is unconscious of what's happening around him, but me number two grasps things that the other one can't, and he starts to act in a marvelous way. For example, in tennis, me number one says, I want to learn, and me number one starts to learn how to strike forehand, the backhand. So then he practices, me number one does, and I have to strike the ball harder, I have to allow for the ball to not go down, I have to move my feet more, I have to pick up the racket more and turn my waist more, I have to bend my knees, I have to lower my body, I have to better the timing of the ball. He has all the techniques and tries to learn them. And me number two, he does all that. He's the one that realizes the strike. He does it a lot better than what me number one tells him to do. So then when me number one tells him, and a player speaking with himself, he says, "Oh, you struck at it wrong." Who's he speaking to? The one that says me number one. Me number two speaks very little. He may be able to speak. Actually, he demonstrates in a different way the things when he speaks. Me number one says, "I'm gonna get a strong strike." And to do that, I have to remember to send the ball in a certain position, to twist my body, to lower the hips, to raise the arm synchronous, and for this arm to not go this way, I have to have it forward, to rise this arm in a synchronized manner, to let it fall, to loosen the body, for it to not be so tense, to bend the racket and to make an impulse with the front foot and jump and to strike the ball is precisely, and not to turn your body before that, because then you miss the net or you hit the net, and I have to turn my wrist so that when I turn the wrist, that's so that impressive calculations is, oh, he has to do all that. When he does that all wrong. And it says, I failed because I didn't twist this. Oh, because I have to do it higher. I have to do it lower. I have to do it higher. So then he filled me number two so filled with instructions that when the me number two was gonna execute, he failed because me number one got into the path of what me number two, who does everything perfect, was gonna do. He says you have to string it stronger. So then that thinking part of the me number one ruins actually the whole motor of me number two. Not just that he did failed in the strike, but me number one starts to speak, "You're an idiot. You are so bad." And me number two listens. He says, "Oh." There comes a point in which the critique is so great that says, "You're no good for tennis. Actually, you're an idiot. You're such an ass at this." And who's he speaking to? He's talking from me number one to me number two. But don't apply that just to tennis. Apply it to your life. All the time. All the time. So then, to believe is to create. The believing begins in me number one. The only one that can create is me number two. Here, there's so much magic that it is difficult to apply it. And I'm telling you, I'm an apprentice. It's difficult to apply that. If you start to apply what I am telling you, you're going to start to see such a change in your life. Because we've got two people within. A wedding, a matrimony, an inseparable marriage of two people and two personalities. You know all these things, it's just that now I'm explaining them in a way that's a little more extensive. But you know, clear expressions like when you say, "Don't fill me with words, talk to me with the heart." When a person speaks with the heart, it's me number two speaking, because the heart is part of the body. It's not part of the thinking logic. So then when in English you say, for example, "I feel it in my gut," we say it differently. "I feel it in my interior, in my heart. I'm gonna follow what my heart dictates." If you follow what your heart says, which is all different names of me number two, you do not what you think, but what you feel. And what you feel is generally, if you're feeling well, correctly, it's me number two speaking, not me number one. Me number one is cold, rigid, calculating, and he does that all that wrong. He does that all that wrong. He can't do many tasks at the same time. But that is what we are. That's what we are. That's what we are. And me number two, when he speaks, when me number one takes complete dominion of me number two. He shuts it to a point that he says, like a patient that is suffering something, he says, no, I don't feel anything. You feel something? No, I don't feel anything. I feel great. I feel great. Who's speaking that I feel great? Me number one is speaking. It's not me number two. Because in order to listen to me number two, you have to silence me number one. And that is where Oriental meditation enters. Oriental meditation works in taking out all the ideas that you have in the mind at that time. So then you stay in blank and you don't allow for anything to cross your mind. Nothing. Not a single idea, because one idea brings another one, and me number one wants to take over and he's working, so then me number two doesn't come up, because we've learned since we're little to silence me number two. I'm going to tell you what I feel. Me number one is speaking, not me two. If the person allows with a therapist or self-therapy, they start to silence me number one. And they are able to listen to me number two. They're going to hear the reasons of the conflicts we go through, because since me number two is not listened to by the individual, me number two speaks. How does he speak? Through your ailments, what hurts. He'll speak. So then you'll see in your body dysfunctions that consciously, me number one, they should not exist. This is, I don't know I have this, whatever thing, just easily. I don't know why I have this crab. I don't know. It must be genetics. No. There's no genetics. It must be the transgenic food. Not that either. To listen to me number two. No, I feel okay. Me number one says everything's fine. You have to take that out because it does not belong in my body. It's genetics. My dad, my father had it. My mom died. They'll say whatever. Why did I get these crabs? Me number two speaking. If you don't listen to me number two starts to express. Since me doesn't listen to him, me number two says, okay, that's the way I speak. How does he speak? In that way. He expresses in the way that he can. Because he will speak to you. If you listen to him, then you have a dialogue with me number two. Me number two comprehends things. He says, oh, okay. So then there's no need for me to take this solution that I'm taking. And that is when you solve the conflicts. When we have conflicts, conflict is basically me number one and me number two. There's also conflicts with the exterior, but between me number one and me number two, they don't agree. And actually, things happen because there's an internal conflict. Once we understand that we've got two me's, and that we, in our stage of now of humanity, we almost don't listen to me number two. We listen to only me number one, which is we, us, our consciousness. But our subconscious is so much more powerful than our consciousness. You can't even calculate how much more powerful it is. The one that governs your life, makes you live, shows you in your body what you feel, and does other things. And that is where it begins what magic is, quote unquote, because there's kind of like a unexplicable magic. But the subject is that we judge ourselves on a permanent basis. When we, and the Creator placed that in us precisely. He placed that in us so that it is something that hinders us. When in religions they teach you to say, I'm a sinner, the one speaking is me number one. And he says, I'm a sinner. And he tells to whom? To me number two. I don't know why I do things like that. I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. Me number two which can be molded, receives the information of me number one. They're two different beings. I want you to see it that way. If you don't see it that way, you won't understand it. We're not one being, we're two. We're two. When you're absolutely sleeping, me number two is the king. He does what he wants. He does what he wants. And when you're conscious, no. You're subject to yourself. But that's how it still works. So then, the religions, in this case, have made us either to make me number two to understand that he's a sinner, that he is wicked, that he does not deserve anything, that actually he'll be saved, but by grace, because another did something that you could never have done or could ever do because you don't merit it. You don't deserve it. All that information which we feed to me number two starts to lose his confidence. It starts to be reduced. It starts to reduce his confidence. The problem is to critique. This is one of the important keys. I have no God. I'm just speaking from me number two. Whatever comes out. I have nothing written about this. Nothing. Zero. Zero written. That's why sometimes maybe I'm not so orderly as I wish, and I hope that I don't miss out on a point that I would like to give you, but it's all I'm giving, just let loose without even thinking. What we have to eradicate, aguante Boca, let's go Boca. Let's go Boca. What we have to entirely eradicate is to critique ourselves. If you understand that, no matter if you make mistakes, no matter if you think that you do things wrong, it has to end entirely to critique yourself entirely. There's no critique. You can just observe. We can better this. Always we can better this. But never what we always do, that I'm no good, I cannot, the I cannot is in you, I cannot. If I told you anything, can you buy yourself a house in Beverly Hills? Where it starts at $15 million, all of you will say I can't. And the last thing you can say is I can't. Even if it would seem impossible, don't pronounce I cannot. I'm an apprentice. I pronounce it to teach you, but I am pouring into you what is in my practice so that it becomes a practice in you. No matter what you are told or what they ask you or you ask yourselves, don't say, I can't. And I don't want to repeat that because me number two is listening and he's taking note. It's a lie, me number two. I'm explaining to these guys that I have to repeat it. Under no circumstance should you say that I cannot. I can't. No, you can't. You can't say that. Because if we are God, we can do anything. What you should not have to see immediately tomorrow, I don't have to buy a Beverly Hills property tomorrow. But if you were to ask me, can you buy yourself a house in Beverly Hills? I have to say, of course I can. Yes, I can. Of course I can. I can. Whenever I want to, place it into my plants, for example. Your mind has to stop being realistic. When we're coldly realistic, that is when we lose the magic. And there's no magic. There's no magic. There isn't. I'm sorry, you closed yourself off your opportunity of doing things that are incredible. Why? Because we have trained. It's not your fault. It is the fault of this life. They have trained us to say, I cannot. It's not enough. No good. I am dumb. I am ugly. All those things our parents have placed them in our mind. Who of you, since you were little, did you not listen to your parents about you're an idiot, you're a stupid idiot? That other me speaking is a me number one of another person. Your me number two is listening. And if your me number one, who is an authority for me number two, accepts it, it's as if me number one said it. That's when you say, oh yeah, I am an idiot. Or I don't say anything. I'll accept what my mom said, you're an idiot. And me number one doesn't defend me. He doesn't defend me. And I'll accept it as reality that I'm an idiot. I have no words to add. Me number one is not defending me. He doesn't make me things differently, so then I'll accept it. It's the same mechanics as a patient goes to see something of the white robe and says, you have this months of life. There's the small chance that me number one of the person says this is a lie. Why don't you fuck off and shove that white robe and your title well up your ass, you son of a bitch, and the bitch that bore you and your whole church, your church of the white robe, you know what it belongs to with pharmakeia. Me number one doesn't say that, he accepts that. Since he accepts it, then directly the jury says that it passes on to me number two and says, okay, that's fine, we'll accept it. You have 6 months of this, and you have this and that, and that's it, it's over. You accepted it. If by chance the guy says, you have this, but it's nothing, you know what, let's surpass it with this, and that, and tell the truth. In my experience, this goes away on its own. You have nothing to give, but me number one of that number one of the white robe made an impression on me number two and says, what? Okay, let's work with this. I can. What did he say? I'll believe him. The thing is, whom does me number two believe? He's going to believe you always. Always. He's going to believe you always. And your own entire person is in the hands of the me number one. The dumbest, the one that believes everything, and the one that will determine your life, they'll determine it. That is why I'm speaking to me number one of yours. And me number two is listening, that's fine, but me number one, because the one you have to train is me number one. To believe, to create, to believe is me number one. He has to believe, and he creates it. He'll create it. But this one has to believe it. Then you have that phrase to believe and to create. It's not about magic. You believe in number one, and me number two will create it. He'll create it. The thing is that me number one doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe it. If this guy believes it, this guy does it. Because it's so powerful, you don't know what that being that is within us does. Which is limited. We are limited by being number one, by the me number one. He limits all the possibilities of the person. So then, when there's a decree, if that decree is not believed by me number one, me number two will not do anything. He won't do it. Because me number one doesn't believe it. And if you don't believe it, you don't create it. Now, there's something in which we enter into pure magic. Me number two has a connection with all human beings. Don't explain it to me how. He has kind of like a radio that tunes into waves. We don't do that. We speak with this one, we chat. Number two uses waves unknown to us. Not just does it chat, it speaks, it communicates, but with the rest of the me number two of the human beings. If he does not communicate with the Creator, he communicates with a power that is. Don't ask me what it is. It's the things that I tell you that we don't know, but are there. So number two has lots of power, but we don't give it the power. We believe that we have the power, that it is our will, that it is our effort, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this and that. That's fine, that's fine. And it'll cost me. Right there. You already added something horrible from me number 2. What do you mean it's going to be difficult? It's going to be difficult. How much? A ball and a half. Oh. And that's if I do. Oh, you're doubting already. So then how are we going to create something? M number 1, who's my boss? And if we achieve it. Apparently we're not going to achieve anything. And he says utilize some things, but I'm not going to utilize them. I have resources that this guy doesn't even know about it, but I can't give it to him because I can't, because in order for me to use my full resources, my entire resources, number M1, the one that speaks of things, the logical one, he has to believe entirely in me. If I don't believe in my interior, then I cannot utilize the power that I have. And that is why we don't have power. Because we think that the power resides in me number 1. And what I can study, what I can think, that what I can strike the ball, I'm thinking I'm going to strike the ball hard. It doesn't work that way. You can strike it harder and better when you don't think about it. You know how a professional tennis player does. He's not thinking, okay, now I'm going to do it faster. I'm going to remember how to move my legs. No, none of that. The concentration of a sports player is not to think about that. It's to shut up M number 1, to let M number 2 think. Do not intervene. Don't give him a command. Nothing, 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 nothing. Just stay there, quiet, leave the mind blank, and just react, because the power of the reaction of me number 2 has, you don't, M number 1 doesn't have it. The speed of that he has to calculate, number 1 doesn't have it. And if you interfere with number 1, says to hit it hard or bend your knees, you know what you're going to do? You're going to send the ball like the soccer players do. They hit it outside of the stadium because they're thinking about hitting it. Like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Practice everything that you have to practice in the moment of the execution. Your mind has to be in blank. Leave number 2 work. You'll marvel. All the sportsmen will tell you that their best plays, that their optimus play, where they're in the zone of their best execution. What are they thinking? In nothing. Zero. Zero. You might say, can that be? That is a reality. It's a fact. It's a fact. Like they say in Argentina, a facto. We Argentinized some from English. The facto. A fact. When we don't think. A professional driver, auto driver, he's not thinking in anything. He's reacting. He clears his mind. He clears it. And he allows for his me number 2 to drive. To drive without instruction, mind you, without any instruction. Because he knows what he has to do a lot better than this one. When this one butts in and it tells him to do something, he interferes. And says, okay, then you do it. That's fine. I'm the one that executes. I have a lot of better reaction. You're going to tell me how to do things? So then, when you lose the race and you make mistakes, it is because it is very odd for this one to make a mistake. When in sports he makes a mistake, it is when this one intervenes. How you have to do things. When this one knows a lot more, because this one practiced, has the movement, the calculation, but when M number 1 intervenes, even if it's incredible, I thought it was all backwards. No, you have to direct it, you have to think about it. No. Your next, in whatever sport you play, encounter, practice what I say for a little bit. Don't think about anything, nothing, just that is pure concentration. In sports, concentration is not the thing, not to force the mind like this. No. You relax it. Just relax it. Oh, yeah, this. No. Just relaxed. And just react. And you're going to run into strikes that you're going to ask, how the fuck did I strike it that way? How did you strike it that way? Was it magic? Yes, it was magic. Because if you were to intervene when you want to guide the ball, it goes outside the field. You hit it late. You don't hit it correctly. When you don't think, but rather react, that is when things are produced in a way that not even you can believe. They say that the best poets and the best drawings are not thought of. They're not done with the brain of the me number one, but with that of the me number two. So that when the musicians, the poets, things that have done great things, they didn't do it by thinking, I'm going to do this and add this and write this lyrics. No. It doesn't come out. Not a good lyrics don't come out like that. Not a good poem comes out. It's only when you allow this kind to work and you are thinking in nothing and it starts to flow like lyrics that don't come from your consciousness, comes from your subconsciousness. It is incredible, but all of the great composers will tell you, we, since we're not composers, we, since we're not sportsmen of the high sphere, we don't understand it. We think that it's through M number one, through effort, to technique and capacity. No, it resides somewhere else. That genius is in the me number two. That is where the magic is. We, since we're little, we have been shutting down number two and saying we're ugly, we're stupid, we're no good, we're useless, I'm never going to achieve anything, I'm going to be poor, I can't be rich, I can't buy a car, I can't buy a Mercedes-Benz. Let's suppose, I don't care about it, but if I were to interested, I could have it. I've had Mercedes-Benz, I don't care about them. If it was interesting to me, I'd have it. The power that you have here is the power of the decrees. So then how do the decrees work? When me number one decrees something, he believes it. And he gives place to number two to execute it. Number two has contacts that we cannot even imagine. He sends waves through masses of people, and certain people respond and they communicate. So then when you say, I can't get a better job, I can't have this, I can't have that, number two says, okay, that's fine, that's perfect. Let's note it, he can't, he just can't. I can't buy a house, okay, then he can't. He can't. If number one saying he can't, then why am I going to make an effort? Now, if number one says that he can, and he believes it and decrees it, then I'll start to work. Give me time. What you're going to see is marvelous. Just give me time. Number two communicates with the human mass that you don't know. He starts to calculate how the fuck we do, how much do we need for down payment. He calculates everything, not you. We calculate, we need this, okay, that's fine, perfect. So then what we have to do first is to look for a better chance of work, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get a better job. Just like that, you get a better job, and you have a better job. All of a sudden, something comes up where somebody gives you money, an inheritance somewhere from wherever, where you don't even expect. Guy has contacts everywhere. What you don't understand, don't believe. And he's in contact with the one upstairs, the creator, with which the ones that we get in touch with is number two, not number one. We can say, oh, dear God, I love you. Forgive me and the fucking shit. No, he won't listen to you. Number two, he does listen to, and he speaks to, and he does whatever he wants. And there is a power available that he placed. It says those who want this power, well, they have to get through number two. Otherwise, consciously, they won't get there. There's no possibility to get there. There's no possibility. But with number two, there is a depot of riches, wisdom, and intelligence. Of course, you've got to learn to believe and create. So then all of a sudden the person that didn't have a good job, that could barely survive, they said, I'm going to buy a house. It's as if things start to align in their life in the universe, and a better job comes around, and a better job comes around, and some money that you didn't know from where, and then all of a sudden, the opportunity of a house that was for you, and that comes about because it is being presented, but what the people call, oh, life presented. It's not life. It's because you believed it. Number two, presented it to you. And the opportunity comes along, and if this son of a bitch interferes, number one, oh, I can't pay for that. I won't be able to. He fucked it all up already. You ruined it all. And you come to ruin the transaction. You come to ruin what I'm working. Okay, they can stay like that without anything. So the people stay without anything. Most of them. Others say everything turns out by magic. It is magic. It is magical arts because they believe it. But that is what I'm trying to you, make you conscious of. That our number one is our greatest impediment to achieve what we really wish. And we live miserable lives that have not gotten to their maximum potential because we have not allowed for it to get to that potential. Unimaginable potential. Unimaginable. For what reason? Because we're very logical, very conscious, and we know what we can give. And we know our limitations. And actually, we should not have any limitations whatsoever. I'm speaking to myself as well. Don't think that I'm an expert at this. I've told you that I was a what? An apprentice. So then, since I speak to you, I speak to myself. Because it's difficult. I have placed many of these things into practice and have seen results that are absolutely incredible. Incredible, I'm talking about. Pure magic. But I'm still an apprentice. But now I'm pouring it onto you. These are the decrees. The decrees will be fulfilled as long as your number one is silenced and he believes it and he hands over all the responsibility to number two. The number one commandment in order for this to work is the Torah's number one commandment. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. Is not referring to Yahweh the Creator in this case as I'm applying it. It is, you will not have another me before me. No one from outside will come and tell me what I can and cannot do. In this case, I am teaching you. But your number one me cannot have another me aside from that. He's either the Lord and King and concedes everything that he wants to this one. Because if this one has another me or Lord above him, which could be a white robe, priest, your husband, your wife, your mom, your dad, a friend, society, beliefs, that belief breaks the magic. It is, thou shalt not have another me before me. Thou shalt not make an image of any other me except for me. Nothing. I am. And that is where it resides, the magic of the I am. I am. And the I am says, okay, I know what I say, I believe it, and now I transfer it to my other me, which is also I am. And I am the unit of the both me's. When the unit of these two me's is not united, you are not. I am means I am. And I work alongside my consciousness and my incalculable and powerful subconscious. Which, when I don't let him speak or to express himself, he's going to express himself and send ailments my way. He's so powerful that he'll kill you. He'll kill you. Yeah. When he says that you're no good, he kills you. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Here goes a good crab, and that's it. Your story's over. Who sent it? God? No. This guy sent it. This guy sent it. Because you didn't listen to him. Because you didn't give him commands. Because you didn't trust in him. Because you didn't empower him. Since you didn't do any of that, you were the one that thought you had the power. And very easily this one makes you understand that you don't have the power then. That he's a lot more powerful than you and he'll destroy you. He'll destroy you. Now, he doesn't want to destroy you. He wants you to be the greatest thing that exists, but you don't allow him to. You don't allow him to. Because you have believed once when you were little that your mom and dad told you how stupid you are. And already this me didn't know anything about it, didn't remove it from there, didn't make him believe that that you were extremely intelligent, that you were God, and who cares if there's other gods more intelligent than you? You're God, that's it, it's over, you're God. I'm not measuring my intelligence with the rest. There could be an extremely intelligent guy next to me, and I could give a fuck at all, because I am. He says, I'm more intelligent than you. What the fuck do I care? I am. I am. I am. I don't care. Nor your intelligence, or your beauty, or your skills, or your money. I don't care about anything. I am. The secret of the I am is that. I am that I am. And I am as I am. We don't accept ourselves as we are because we're too Indian, we're too dark, or because we have black hair, or because we're fat, or we're slow, or we're not so fast like others, or because we don't have the talent that we think we should have, or a whole quantity of things that since we were little they made it their task to make us smaller and smaller and smaller, and they said, don't be proud, don't be proud, don't be proud. Proud? We have to be the most proud as possible of I am. If you are not proud of yourself, then you self-destruct. You self-destruct. Because the Messiah himself said, love thy neighbor as thyself. You can't love anyone if you don't love yourself. So then before loving your neighbor, you have to learn to love yourself. And to love yourself means to understand this, that number one and number two that are always in your mind. And that you made it your task to crush him, to tell him you're not good for nothing. You can't, no, you can't, no, I can't. And that's why you can't do shit. He says, I can't. And they come and says, can we buy another house? Well, I can't. I can't. And you say, I'm poor. And number two says, I could make you rich, but since you want to be poor, that's fine. Okay, let's make a note. You're poor. Okay, you convinced me. You said it so many times that you're convincing me. You're convincing me. You're convincing me. And I could have said so many things for you. But no, okay, that's why we're poor. Okay, fuck it all to hell, we're poor. Since we're poor, I'm gonna make you suffer even more. For you to feel like a poor son of a bitch, actually, to feel great. And number one says, don't you see? That I'm stupid and I'm poor and there's no possibility I live in this dog shit country, which is no good. But you could be a lot better, number two says. But you don't listen to me, you don't hear me, you don't even know the power that I have. Since I have a lot more power than the God that you pray to. Because it'll be through me will be the blessing. There's not going to be an angel from heaven to come and bless you. Because the blessing will work through me. Number two is telling you. In fact, I am the one that keeps you alive all the time. I'm faster, more intelligent, more capable, more skillful. I can calculate. I have way more contacts than you. But since you don't trust in me, let's live the life like you're a poor, miserable person and sick. You don't even listen to me. This would seem that I'm speaking, and I don't know what people are writing. I would think that I'm speaking a science fiction novel. No, it's our life. It's IRL. When the Messiah said, if you had faith as a grain of mustard, you would do this and that. What is faith? What is faith in Him? No, faith in ourselves. Faith in the me number two. Me number two. And that me number two empowers when the number one trusts in Him and gives him decrees, is very obedient. Number two is very obedient. If you tell him he's an idiot, he'll be an idiot. If you tell him he's an ugly, he'll be ugly. If you tell him that he's no good, he'll be no good. He's no good. And that's the information you're giving me and programming me with, and you're going to repeat it so many times that at the end of it all, I'll act that I'm no good. And he'll say, okay, that's why he's right, he's no good. But it takes years of having repeated that, and you achieve to become and what you believe. It's that you believe you create. If you think that you're no good, then you're going to create a product that's no good, and you'll see it, and you'll see that it's no good. And you'll say, yes, it's no good. He's right. The guy's right. It's no good. But who created it for it to be no good? Number one created it that way. Because you'll see different cases that close their ears to the voices of religion, of the bad advice of the parents, of the couples, of the friends, and they believe it in themselves only, And there comes a change in their life that people say, hey, what happened to this guy? This guy has really hit it off. But wait, study why and how he hit it off, and you didn't. You don't just know, but things in his life, he's lucky. The guy's lucky. No. He used resources you didn't use, that you didn't use. Because the guy started to give power to number two. He didn't tell him he was an idiot. He told him he was intelligent. He told him he was pretty, cute. No matter what your eyes think what's cute or not. Here is not cute according to the races. It is what you believe. And if they could have told you 1,000 times that you're a monkey, an actual monkey, you start to say, yeah, I'm the most beautiful man in the world. The most beautiful, and if this number two believes him, you start to see yourself as the most beautiful man in the world. And there comes a beauty that the people start to say, hey, wait, he's not so ugly, but how did that change? I can't explain it to you. It's not that you're going to change all of a sudden to be from being darker to be white and to have green eyes. That's not going to happen. There's no need. There's an aura that you don't see. There's an electromagnetic waves that your subconscious gets in touch with another, and the other one receives him and says, oh, wow. It is an attraction that I can't explain. And what happens is magical. I know that maybe you don't believe it, but it exists. And the most beautiful part is, it's not being cute or ugly, is that you feel cute. That's all that matters. The other one could give a fuck. But I've always told you, when you allow yourself to be fed by what others say, but what your husband or your wife says, or your dad or your mom, so then number two starts to dominate what the other guy says, and you broke the first commandment, and says, you shall not have another me before me. You shall not have another. The only matters is what you say. What I say. Nothing else matters. But you have this mindset. There will be cases that exist clearly that says no one, they're not going to listen to, no one trusted in me, no one. But there was one person that trusted in me. That's why I achieved what I achieved. Out of all the me's that I listened to, that person heard, he closed his ears. There was one that did listen, which should be me in this case, but just an example. The other one did listen and says, no, you have such a talent. And the red says, you're an idiot, you're no good. No, I don't. You have talent, really? Truly? Yes, I do. And says, I believe that I have that talent. Let's go forward. So the guy had success, and then he says, one person trusted in me. You'll hear it 1,000 times over. It's the only one that, no matter the trust of that person, he occurred, that other me, by luck, it was a positive me, and he transferred it over to his me number two, which generally we listen to all the me's that speak to us, which starts with your mom. It's the first me that you should not listen to. Just like that you should not listen to. But we still listen to them. And then we listen to the religious me. And then something that I've always been against, because this world is backwards, is the alcoholics that have a problem with alcohol, that they can't leave it. And when they drink, they can't stop drinking until they're unconscious. They go to a place where actually is good, which is Alcoholics Anonymous. And what do they make them repeat? The contrary to empowering them. And tell them, I'm an alcoholic. It's been 3 years that I haven't drunk. Why do you say you're alcoholic? Because I have to recognize that I am. Wait, hold on. What if you make him repeat, I'm not an alcoholic? Alcohol is nauseous to me. I detest it. I hate it. And it's been so many days that I don't drink alcohol. Don't repeat that you're an alcoholic. Don't reinforce number two that I'm an alcoholic. No, start saying I'm not an alcoholic. I don't need alcohol. I drink because, or I don't drink because I hate alcohol. No, they reinforce what's bad. And they have alcoholics that every day they tell that it was a victory that they've had. And never until they die, they'll stop being an alcoholic. It is till they die. They just don't drink alcohol. Fucking shit. What good was it? It was good. It helped them. They didn't drink alcohol. They lived their life. But submerged in recurring to a slavery of saying, I am an alcoholic. When actually they should have said, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't like alcohol and I don't drink just because I don't fucking want to. That is enough. And it's nauseous to me. I don't like alcohol. To repeat it so many times. This number two will make it understand that you don't like alcohol. That's it. It's over. No. We make them understand with the human wisdom, I'm an alcoholic. If you were a thief, I'm a thief. It's been 5 years that I haven't stolen a thing, but I'm still a thief. In the religion, same thing. The same fucking technique. I'm a sinner. No matter how many times you repeat it for what you did, and you have pled, and you have asked for mercy, the pastor will say, I am a sinner. Don't ever say I'm not a sinner. That would be a blasphemy. Or is it not? It's a blasphemy. To enter into church, I have triumphed today. Why? Because it's been 10 years, 20 years as a sinner, and I'm not a sinner. I said, no. Whom did you listen to? You're still a sinner. Let's pray to God, because you just lied, because you are a sinner. Because the one that says that he that does not have sin is a liar. So then, let's both kneel together and let's ask God, because just to think that you're not a sinner, it's a sin in itself. You're a sinner. So then we're always fucking sinners and fucking evil people, pernicious people. And that is how humans live, subjugated, controlling. I think that God taught us that God subjugated us to this so that we're not so powerful, mind you. That's why there's a few powerful people in the world, a few powerful people that have discovered this, and the rest of us that have not discovered shit, and we're fucking idiots that believe everything. We tell each other that we can't, that we don't want, that we're evil, that we're ugly, that we're stupid. And so then, of course, so then says, okay, that's fine, very well dominated, until you start to awaken. And those who awake and they believe it, they have money, and says, oh, they're lucky, those sons of bitches. No. It is a secret that is so loud. You can do everything. You can do absolutely everything. That you decree it and you believe it. You decree it and you believe it. You'll create it. You decree it, you believe it, you'll create it. So then what are the decrees? Decrees, beliefs, manifestations. Manifestations, we could say, that are the created part. The beliefs that we have do not allow for us to decree. Because you have a belief that you're poor and you can't buy a house, for example. I insist on that because those are examples. Because you place that in everything, that you're ugly and you can't get a beautiful girl. or that you're ugly, won't get married, or you're an idiot, or you're this, or you can have a better job, no matter what it is, whatever it might be. Our belief is the anchor that does not allow us to get to see the magic of a decree that has been realized because it's magic. It is so much so, it's so much so, that I'll tell you a story that I've read. I don't know that, I can't assure you that it's true because I haven't seen it. But to believe it, I believe it. Because I've experienced similar things. This is a story of a guy that learned, give or take things that I'm teaching you, how to decree things, believe them, and leave them. He had a problem in his job that his boss would treat him so bad. And to him, he would just treat him bad, to the sense in which kind of a bullying. And he would make an effort and the guy would just bully him. And he decided to leave. But he said, no, wait, if I believe in the decrees and all the rest, let's see how this works actually, and I'll believe it. And it took 4 weeks to become a reality. What did he decree? What did he decree that you imagine that he decreed? What did he decree that you imagine? Well, we're on the right path. What's the first thing that show up in our mind is? He decreed for the other guy to die, to kick the other boss. Many things have happened. But negative decrees don't work. They don't work. And they come as a prejudice, because I also believe in karma. Because with this magic, there's karma also. I'll tell it to you like that. In this magic, there's karma. You want to utilize this magic? Be careful. It's all positive. And you know what he decreed? That my boss to start to love me and to start to treat me well. And in his mind, before sleeping, because part of starting to believe is every time his boss, every time he would treat him bad, he, before sleeping, he would close his eyes. This works marvelously to visualize before sleeping, to visualize things, to reinforce, number 2, that you believe them. Before sleeping, he would close his eyes, in every situation that had happened that day, instead of saying, you're good for nothing, how did you do that? You're useless, I suppose. That his boss would look at him and says, you did this great, I congratulate you. To tell the truth, I'm thinking about giving you a raise. So then every negative situation that his boss would treat him negatively, he, in his mind, would decree that he would treat him well, and that he would love him, and he would see that same situation, but he would recreate it in his mind backwards every day. A month passed by, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets to his job, and the guy changed his attitude completely. That you can't explain. Why? That is why the magical things that I'm telling you about happens just by changing his mind, the attitude, the negative attitude that the boss had towards him. Now it makes him feel in a different way. In his job, we also radiate an aura, a power, and invisible to our eyes. And that aura communicates with other people's auras. And when we're afraid or we feel hate or anger, the other person, in his number 2, he receives it, they communicate. We communicate subconsciously, and they receive that there's a weird environment. How do we feel that weird environment? What is a heavy environment? Somebody doesn't even look at you, but there's a heavy atmosphere. Well, we produce that. So then, already with having changed and decreed that and believed it, already I believe that automatically this person, has changed the attitude of seeing his boss, although he does it subconsciously. And the subconscious part of the boss would receive a message. He would receive the message, hey, you're mistreating me. Why don't we become friends and we treat each other well? And it makes him change. Without pronouncing a single word, he makes him change. That, like any other situation, that I don't want to mention examples because maybe they have to be born out of you. I'm not going to mention examples because anything that you want to achieve, you have to visualize it. That is what it is to believe. Not just a decree that I'm saying, I decree this. And that's it. I decreed it, I believe, and that's it. No. It doesn't work that way. What works is that I decree it. I meditate in that. I imagine that I obtain it. Let's say a house. Let's suppose a house. That worked for me 100%. 100%. When I wanted to buy a house, I had heard things about these things. And I could not buy a house. Didn't have money to buy a house, the first house. I didn't have money to buy a house. I earned very little with Leslie. And actually, for me, I had an impossible credit to qualify because I earned very little money, little income. And I earned more money unrecorded. In other words, what I would earn by buying and selling cars, it would just not be reported. And so then I couldn't prove that I earned that money. But what I would make in a check, a little tiny one, and Leslie's give or take, we couldn't qualify to buy nothing. Nothing. We didn't qualify. I needed a down payment of $5,000. I didn't have it. I didn't have a $5,000 down payment. Didn't have it. And so then I'm talking about in the year 97, give or take, 1996, 96. And I didn't have it. So then to buy a house was a utopia, an impossibility. My friends didn't buy houses. They all rented. I was the one that earned the least. They earned twice and 3 times over what I earned. The guys that are new, everyone says, no, how are you going to buy a house? It's impossible. So then I, without knowing this whole technique entirely, I just heard a guy that said, when you want to have something, you have to visualize it. So then take a picture of something and place it there and look at it. Always imagine that you have it. Very simple is this word. Very simple, very simple. Nothing of what I said. Very simple. So then I had a picture of a house like this. I want a house like that. I know, but I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to buy it. And I've already decided I'm going to buy it. And I would already imagine myself with the house. It's not just to decree I'm going to buy a house. No, to imagine that you have the house. You're waiting for them to give it to you. You have it. You have it. You bought it. In your mind, you bought the house already. You didn't even have money for the down payment, nor to qualify for anything, nor a house for you. You've already bought, and that's it. It's over. Not much time passed by when my father-in-law says, I'm going to give you this Mercedes-Benz with one condition, he says. You can't sell it. Because it really cost me an arm and a leg to fix its prices. Just one condition, my father-in-law said. That if you sell it, it's only to buy a house. And I said, oh, that's weird. That's great. Because if I ask him to let me borrow money, he's not going to let me borrow money. But now he comes with a Mercedes-Benz, and he tells me that he tells me, you can't sell it. It cost me an arm and a leg, and I fixed that up. That's what my father-in-law says, you can't sell it. Just a clause, you can sell it to buy a house only. So then, all of a sudden I said, I already have the down payment, which I didn't have. I have it. And the magic started to come up. I have it. Then afterwards, someone came along and said, I know you want to buy a house. I says, how do you know I want to buy a house? I don't know. Someone told me you want to buy a house. I have a person that will draw. what you earn. No matter, you got to pay them, and he'll earn it. He'll make it so you qualify. Oh, so then it works that way. He says, yes. You have to do it now because it'll take 6 months. It'll take 6 months. You can do it now, but it'll take 6 months. You have to work with some checks that are not so kosher. Like Solomon said, don't be so just, so no, nor so evil, just in the middle. Was going to do this whole drawing, but you'll qualify for the house. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do it now. So they put me in contact with a Chilean girl. Says, don't you worry, in 6 months we'll buy the house you want. What house? Whichever. I had the down payment. I had the way of qualifying. I just needed the house. And one day driving, I noticed the house, and I said, this is the one I want. It actually looked ugly. It wasn't too old, but it was a whole plastic because of the heat. I don't know, I can't explain it. I said, this is the house that I want. And I said, oh, that's good. I'm going to buy this house. And I called the girl, Chilean girl, says, come, make an offer now. The 6 months, or I have the money. You have the money? No, but I'm going to sell the car right now. This is okay, that's fine. It was $84,000. It was a gift. There's no houses like that. I said, no, but offer 80. Offer 80. She says, the way it is, buy it. No, offer 80. Offer 80. And they accepted it. We need a $5,000 payment. $5,000 payment. Okay, I'll get it. I put the Mercedes to sell. A diesel Mercedes that nobody wanted. No one wanted it. Someone has to sell it. Someone has to buy it now. It'll be sold tomorrow. I said, it'll be, and it was sold tomorrow. An old lady came along and says, I have this Mercedes. Yeah, it's precious. It's new. It's for you. How much? 5,000. I don't have 5,000. She says, I have 3,500. I said, give it to me. Here, take the car, take it. 35, and I put another $1,500 that I had and bought the house. There it is. And my friend says, this can't be. This son of a bitch. How did he do? What? How you're so lucky? It's not lucky. It's not luck. I didn't have money. I didn't have the possibility of buying a house. I didn't have credit to buy a house, and I didn't have a house. But I decreed, and that's the same way that I got this house, my second house. That house, I sold it in $200,000. I bought it in $80,000, and I sold it for $200,000. The down payment for that house was so much cheaper, almost kind of. It was. I think it was cheaper than the rent that I was paying for in Loma Linda. Impressive. My friends looked at me. Friends looked at me and said, "It can't be. This son of a bitch. I mean, he earns less than we do." And you know what they did? They said, "I want to buy it," and I helped them to buy their house. One, I even co-signed for him. He couldn't, and Leslie signed for the wife, and we bought the house in their name. Because if you have to do whatever you can, you have to do it. The Mutter says, let me do it. You do what you got to do, and I'll do what I have to do. And that's how the magic happens. And it's a brutal magic. Like also the magic that I've told, that I was leaving from this house, and some guy with $50,000 came, and we said, it was God, but it was this, the decrees. Believe it or not, magic that you can't calculate. If we don't take advantage of that, we don't do it because we don't believe. If you had faith as a grain of mustard, you would be people, unstoppable people. Unstoppable. With an incredible potential. And the people would say, how do you do it? How do you do it? How? Well, because I decree. I believe. And I create. I create, I believe, and I create. To believe is to create. Because I am conscious that I have a number one, and I'm conscious that I have a number two. My whole life I've been insulting myself, insulting the me number two. And from here on out, I started to change. You have to do that. From here on out, you have to change. You have to silence the other me's. There's no other me before you. There is no other me, no other God before me. I am my own God, and I'll decree what I want. That's why the Messiah is so important to believe and to create. It's so important what I'm telling you for even the Messiah. Here, no one's going to be a Messiah if you don't visualize and haven't taught you to visualize what we will be. Do you believe that I taught you what it is to be a Messiah without having visualized this? I wouldn't have a word in everything that I said. I didn't say with the me number one. I said with me number two. I'm not even thinking what I'm saying. I allow for my heart to speak. I don't even have control in what I'm saying. But to be the Messiah, you have to visualize it. If you have problems, believe my words. It's because you still don't believe. It's dog shit. You're still in the logic saying this guy is brainless. He's brain dead. Yes, crazy I am. And aguante boca. Let's go boca. I am crazy. And I only look for other crazies. Other crazies like me. I don't want anyone that's sane. Anyone that says no. Hold on. I think that it should be like this because no, I don't want none of those. I want crazies. Crazies that comprehend with the heart and that understand that both a house, like a car, like a work, like a job, like being the Messiah starts here and ends here, and the realization comes along, but not for those that didn't believe. To believe is to create. If you don't understand the words of I am, then you cannot be. You cannot be. Because the Messiah begins with the visualization of being the Messiah. Not because someone told you, and you, okay, that's fine. Maybe, let's see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because they've told me many things in life. We'll see. No, with we'll see doesn't work. At least the first one that has to believe it is me. In order to give you a message with the heart, I have to believe it myself. And there's no doubt whatsoever that I am the Messiah. Now that you don't see it, that it has not been realized in the eyes of others, I could give a fuck. I could give a fuck about that. I already am the Messiah. You have to repeat it yourself in your mind. Are you a part of the Messiah? Do you see it? Do you decree it? Do you visualize it? What will this earth do with us? Visualize really my words, because if you don't visualize them, I've spoken to a sack that has no bottom, and everything falls off. You heard, and you thought it was nice, and you're just waiting. What are you waiting? What are you waiting for? If to be the Messiah means now. You don't have a house? You want a house? Then already you bought the house. You're just waiting for the keys, but you visualized it and all the rest. Yes, it's a fact. Allow for the magic to work, because it's magic. But first, you have to convince me, number two, that this one believes, and start to work all these years of sin. You're an idiot, you're a brute, you're no good, that you can't, to start to say, you're the best, you're a God, you're the most intelligent one, and you can. What can you do? Everything, whatever you want. How much? All you want. to buy a house is minuscule. To buy a Mercedes-Benz is minuscule. To buy a house in Beverly Hills is minuscule. Minuscule. To be the owner of Microsoft is minuscule. Minuscule. And don't ever place the word of, you have to be realistic. Idiots are realistic. No, actually, you're not going to get, no, forget that. You interrupt, you break the magic, you break it into 1,000 pieces. There's no more magic. There's reality. You have nothing. You're an idiot, actually. And a poor, wretched fool, actually. If you want for the magic to actually do its magical job, there's no reality. There is no what you've always been limited to have in your mind. You have to break those barriers of limitation. Break away with them and visualize what you want to do, what you want to be, what you want to obtain. Visualize it every fucking day of your life. Visualize it. And you go to sleep visualizing. As if you already have it. Not like a dream, but as if you already have it. It's yours. You're seeing it. The new order, world order, has already begun. I've already taught you these years to visualize it, to believe it, to feel it, to live it. You have to see it. You have to visualize it. And it starts to create a magic. You start to live it. Not in vain did Yahweh say, as the Father hath eternal life, he has given the Son to have life. Just like the Father has life in himself, he has given the Son to have life in himself. Do you believe that? Do you have life in yourself, or you don't believe it? Or you think that you're about to die any day? Maybe you do die. You don't know. He says, you don't know. Of course, if you say, well, I'm alive today, but tomorrow I don't know, then that's fine. Number 2 says, okay, that's fine. We're completely mortal. Any day now. But if you make number 2 believe, look, you're immortal. You don't care about anything that happens. You're immortal. You have eternal life. Because your Father gave it to you. Just like that. But it's crazy. Yeah, it's all crazy. I speak to crazies only. I don't know. I speak to crazy people, not to logical people talking about, no, reality. Why don't you put your feet on the earth? I don't want to. You don't earn anything that way. Nothing, absolutely anything. You don't achieve, you achieve it through magic or nothing. Or nothing. So then, I have the power. I have the control. That, the prayer that I taught you, is so that you live it. Not so you repeat it like a parrot. So you live it. Sanctified be my name. Exactly. It's contrary to saying that I'm a sinner. And I'll be saved by grace. No. You're wrong. Sanctified be my name. It's the most powerful name that exists. My name. My name. I have the power. I am. I have control. My kingdom come. My will be done. Not someone else's. Mine. Modern psychology will say, this guy is creating a church of narcissists. I just can't believe it. In modern psychology, narcissism, before it was a guy that looked at himself, but today, in modern psychology, they're all narcissists. Why don't you all fuck off? You haven't the least idea of what you speak of. In this life, there are winners and there are losers. There are winners and there are losers. Most are losers. It is clear. Now, what do the winners have that differentiate them from the losers? The difference is in this. I am. Believe is to create. That is the difference. What is the difference from a champion in tennis or any other sport individually with another that another cannot become number one? The difference is in believing. In believing. That is the difference in believing. Imagine that Christianity has a whole doctrine in believing and says believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and you'll be saved, you and your family. They do take it there, not the rest. It's all about believing. So then, how do the decrees work? When you want something in life positively, because if you want something negative, for somebody to do wrong, to go badly, you're going to end up badly yourself. This doesn't work with negative things. It could work, but you're going to receive the karma. That there is a karma, but in positive things, it'll work. Your mind, subconsciously, your me number two is connected to the me number twos of the rest of the people. How? I don't ask me. It's connected and connected with God to create. It's also connected that yours, that things does not connect to. That's what never speaks to you. If he speaks to you, he speaks to number two. And aside from that, there's an incredible power that's so powerful that it's in the disposition of those that believe. If you never have touched that power or felt it, it's because you don't believe. And because you did not take this technique that I'm teaching you, you didn't even know it probably. So then when you understand all that, you start to reprogram your me number two. That you're valuable, you believe you are beautiful, you have the power of doing whatever you want. Second point, you're going to visualize whatever you want. You're going to visualize it every day. You won't visualize it as if you would like to in your dream. With dreams, you don't get anywhere. I'll repeat it again. With dreams, you don't get anywhere. The dreams are taken by the wind. The decree is believe it that you have it already. When I decree something, I accepted that I already have it. I'm not decreeing to see when it is fulfilled. No, I decree it, and I know that I have it. Now, it'll be about times when you receive, but I have it already. If it's a house, I'm just giving you examples, because I don't know what examples to give you. Examples of the house. If it's a house, you've already bought the house. You already bought it. That's it. It's bought. You have to start to visualize it. The greater your visualization is and your power that you exercise, the quicker it'll come. The quicker it'll come. When your power of visualization is not so great and your faith is not so great, it'll take longer. But the more powerful is your visualization and your belief that it's true and you have it already, and that you live in that house already and how you want it, it'll be fulfilled sooner. It is like the faith moves mountains. Faith doesn't only move mountains. It does whatever thing, as long as it is positive in your life. That works for everything, for all things. So then, I hope that I have not forgotten about anything, because I don't have anything written. I'm just an apprentice. I'm an apprentice. If I were a teacher, a master, no, I'm not going to say anything. If I were a grandmaster, I'm an apprentice that I'm learning. And I'm just touching the power that it has, the power. And little by little, I'm learning. If I already the master, this world, what I've already passed on to the new millennium. I'm going to put it that way. So then I'm barely starting since years already, but I am kind of like caressing this subject, and I'm still an apprentice because it takes a long time to learn it. To unlearn all the lies that we earned from our parents, vanity to which there's no avail, so then all the beliefs that you've had of your family, religion, of your parents, your husband, wife, children, friends, and everything, you have to deactivating it. The only one that can speak to number two is you. Thou shalt not have any other me before me, or before me, however you want to say it. But I'm speaking like me because there's two me's. So then, when you start to fulfill the first commandment, then you start to see changes in your life. You'll start to see unthinkable changes, marvelous ones, but it all resides in starting to practice this technique. Practice this technique to shut up me number one, empower me number two, and absolutely to eradicate all the other me's that you know. Except for me that I'm teaching you. But not so you listen to me directly, but so that you take my information and you transmit it to your me number two. And the rest is only lies. The rest of the other me's in this world is only lies, and you cannot, that you can't, that you're not enough, you're not good enough. It's all lies. It's all lies. The possibilities are infinite. They are infinite. The possibilities are the heaven, the sky's the limit. And that's a very well known, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. If I interpret what the sky is the power. What is sky? The sky in prophecy that I taught you, it is power. So then power is limit. What's the limit? That you become a super powerful being. Super powerful. And actually when you're super powerful, you make decrees and they are fulfilled. You make decrees and they're fulfilled. And it takes time to do that. The Messiah is the maximum figure of this. The Messiah, already later with his word, does whatever he wants. But this, you have to start to practice it today. This is a divine technique. You have to practice it now. No one will be a Messiah if you don't understand this principle and you start to practice it. It's not going to be a magical power that makes you understand this. This is a technique of the Messiah. That is how God utilized it. That is how he said, I will walk on water. He walked on water because he decreed it. And you'll say, that's impossible. No. If we practice this enough, we would walk on water. And also, we would stop the wind. But you get to a level of enough practice for that. If you don't believe what I'm saying, is you haven't believed anything. We're so powerful that we can walk on water if we wanted to. But you need practice. That's why it says, I'm an apprentice. I still can't walk on water. I'm learning. It is a path. This is the school of the Messiah. So then this is my information or my point of view about the decrees, beliefs, and manifestations to achieve what we desire. I haven't the least idea who asked this because it's been a year that they asked. I haven't the least idea. So then the one that asked this, I've found your question to be fantastic, and I hope that you're still a year past here without having left to get to your answer. Sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes you have to wait to get the answer. Very well. Let's see if you give us a like or you're fucked off. Aguante Boca. Let's go Boca. 168 likes, 184 is watching. There are more likes than watching. If somebody forgot to give us a like, you're welcome to do so. Tomorrow at 11:30, Boca plays against River. We have to crush the chickens. Of course, in sports, I'm not going to be decreeing something because it would be something bad for the other team. It would be a bad action. I'm decreeing other teams that they do badly. I'm not going to apply it that way. But I wish for the chickens to lose, that we beat them 3-0. 3-0. Let's go Boca. We have to crush those chickens that are doing badly. What I don't want to do is that we give them life and we resurrect them because they beat us. It'll be such an anger. Now we have to crush them completely. They are fallen. Hit them while they're down. Kick them well in their rectum. Send them where the Masons are. We have to take their feathers away. Don't give them life to these sons of bitches before the opportunity of your lives of being able to crush those chickens. You who dress that jersey that's so glorious, blue and gold, utilize the heart. Don't think. Utilize the me number 2. Go and play only with the heart. And you'll see that tomorrow will cause a disaster. 3-0. If you listen to me, 3-0. Minimum. If you think and you worry, we can even lose. This game, we have to play with the heart, without thinking, as one. Boca united as one. And that is how the chickens will be crying and in shambles, running away. Proverbs chapter 1. The reason of the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. In order to understand wisdom and doctrine, to know prudent reasons. What are the Proverbs for? To understand wisdom and doctrine. Better said than doctrine is discipline. And discipline, it's a methodology. And part of what I've taught you today is a discipline. The discipline of the decrees. You can call it that way. And that it takes a specific technique. To believe is to create. It's not magic only. In order for the magic to work, you have to believe, you have to visualize, you have to allow for the number 2 to be the King and Lord. You have to empower the me number 2, and you'll see results that are incredible. That is what discipline is. 3, to receive the advice. It should say discipline, not advice. Musar, the same word. To receive discipline of prudence, justice, judgment, and equity. To give intelligence to the simple, and the youth intelligence and sanity. 5. The wise man shall hear, and his knowledge will augment. All the wise men that heard today, their knowledge has been augmented of what I taught you. Put it to practice, and it could be one of the most powerful things that you have ever received in your life. Incredibly powerful. But you have to believe it, and you have to practice it. And you'll be apprentices of divine magic. Not of black magic or white magic, but divine magic. You'll be apprentices of divinity, because there is something that is not logical, but rather it goes way past. It is beyond, and we connect it to that number 2 that we have. Set it to practice. Practice it, and you'll be surprised. And the wise man shall hear, and his knowledge shall augment, and the understood shall acquire advice. How do I love this? Proverbs 1:5, but in the Jerusalem 2001 version, the wise man listens, and his wisdom grows, and the intelligent acquires dexterity. The Spanish DHH says, he that is wise and intelligent hears you, and acquires even more wisdom and experience. In the Torres Amat, I love it. It says the wise men that would hear these parables will become more wise. And the one that would understand them, that would be as a ship wheel. 6. In order to understand Proverbs and declaration, words of the wise men and their deep sayings, what are The Proverbs in all, it is to understand and to decipher the Proverbs. Look at how it says in the Jerusalem 2001, Proverbs 1:6, Jerusalem 2001. To decipher Proverbs and sayings, the enigmas and the sayings of the wise men, enigmas. This part about how to declare and to decree is an enigma. It's not at the reach of the people. It's not. Seven. The principle of wisdom is the fear of Yahweh. The principle of wisdom begins with the fear of Yahweh. That is a parable in itself. What is the fear of Yahweh? The fear of Yahweh? No. No, it's a parable. It's an expression that's enigmatic. The people understand fear, terror, respect, or fear of Yahweh. No, it is not that. There's a reason why the Bible is concealed. Even the Proverbs are concealed. So then, what is the principle of wisdom? It is the fear of Yahweh. If we go to Proverbs chapter 8:13, Proverbs chapter 8:13, it says, the fear of Yahweh is, and here it gives us one of the first keys that we have to store in our memory, to abhor evil. So then, what is the first thing that the fear of Yahweh means? The very first thing that has to flow, it has to flow automatically to abhor evil. As long as a person does not abhor evil, then he cannot learn wisdom. Because the beginning of wisdom is to abhor evil. So then, what is the fear of Yahweh? It is to abhor evil. Pride and arrogance, the bad paths and perverse tongues I abhor. How does it say in the Kadosh? Proverbs 8:13 in the Kadosh version. The fear of Yahweh is hate of all evil. To abhor and hate, the same thing. The fear of Yahweh. And before I made it the difference of the fear of Yahweh or the fear towards Yahweh. In this point, don't even pay attention to that. It is not the fear from that person, but it's an enigma. The fear of Yahweh is hate. It is hate to all evil. Proverbs 16:6. So then we already know. In the first of the things, the fear of Yahweh is to abhor evil, hate towards evil. Proverbs 16:6. With mercy and truth is sin corrected. Sin, call it mistakes, an error. With mercy and truth, you correct the error. When we make a mistake. With how? With mercy and truth. Precious text. Mercy and truth. And with the fear of Yahweh here, it shows up because it is a parable. It's a word in itself. The fear of Yahweh, the men draw away from evil. So then what does it also mean, the fear of Yahweh? Not just to abhor or hate evil, but rather to draw away from evil. I can abhor something, but I'm stuck to it. So then not just does it mean to abhor or hate evil, but it means to draw away from evil. It is an action. To draw away from evil. Job chapter 28, 28. But no, before reading that, I want to read in Proverbs 16:6, which I read. I want to read it in the Torres Amat. Torres Amat. Proverbs 16:6, Torres Amat says, with the mercy and truth is sin atoned. Evil is atoned. The mistakes. And with the fear of the Lord or of Yahweh, you avoid evil. So then, you draw away and you avoid evil, which would be the same thing. I draw away and I avoid it. So then, the fear of Yahweh, which is the beginning of wisdom, is to abhor or hate evil, to draw away, to avoid evil. Now let us go to Job 28:28. Job 28:28. And he said unto the man, behold, the fear of the Lord or the fear of Yahweh is wisdom, and it is as if the circle is closed. In the Torah Samad of Job 28:28 it says, and he said unto the man, look, the true wisdom is having the Lord and honoring him in intelligence and drawing away from evil. So then, what three things that would seem to be as if it says the same thing? What three things are the fear of Yahweh? The beginning of wisdom is to abhor evil. The beginning of wisdom is to hate, the hate towards all evil. The beginning of wisdom is, or it is good for, avoiding evil and drawing away from evil. We could say it all together. The beginning of wisdom is to draw away from evil. And the beginning of wisdom is wisdom itself. It's weird, but that's the way it is. The fear of Yahweh is wisdom, and wisdom begins with the fear of Yahweh. So then, it is very important to define this. How does wisdom begin? With abhorring or hating evil to a point that we draw away from evil, and we recognize that it is a divine wisdom. That is the very beginning of wisdom, to recognize that it's a divine wisdom. So then, where we're getting into is into a subject that's very, very special for us. Because if we want to be wise, we have to understand the Proverbs, which are made for the wise. Because there's no wiser person than the Messiah. No wiser person exists than the Messiah. And the Messiah is here. And the Messiah is in formation itself. I don't think I'm going to speak to you anymore for today, because I want for you to look this over and watch this subject many times and write the whole procedure that I gave you. You write it. What is the sequence that you have to follow? And you have to start to practice with your me number 2. And all the things that you were told, take it out and dialogue with him. Listen to me. You want to listen to me number 2? Make silence. Stay alone without music and noise. Just listen and ask a question and listen. Don't answer it yourself. If you say, for example, I don't know, just ask a question. If you answer it, you're answering it. It has to flow. And when you hear the answer, it'll flow from within. That you're going to say, this comes from the heart. Exactly. For it to not come from your mind, but from what we call the heart. And you'll learn to listen to yourself. Something that we don't do. That we don't ever do. We just listen to what we say, but not our interior. Not our interior. We don't listen to that. And it cannot be taken by another person. It has to be by yourself. You have to leave your mind at peace. In a Zen state, where there's no thought whatsoever. And there, you'll see, and you listen to your heart. And there you can listen. Even there's crying, things that are engraved in this being that you've told them, that you taught him, that somebody told him, that he believed his mother, his father, his friend, his pastor, and you have to take him out. It's not somebody that's going to come out and take him out for you. So then if you believe that you're worthless, you have to work there. You are worth, and you have an incalculable work. Devaluation should not exist. I mean, it does exist, but our job is to take it out. Above all people, the greatest deceit, I'm saying the greatest, one of the greatest deceits that they've made us believe is that we have to value other people, and it isn't so. We have to value ourselves. I am. It's not you are, it is I am. I am. That valorization comes from the I am, and you have to work on it. We're too devalued, all of us, since we were little. We've been born in a world that Yahweh wanted. He wanted us to be devalued, that we're a literal, like he told his people, you are worms. The greatest devaluation. Not even humans, you're worms. You're rats. You're a twisted generation. Oh, that devaluation. He put it into their mind so that they humble themselves and they sacrifice and they surrender, and they are a people that are not powerful. When they started to believe it, that is where his power grew. That happens in all of us. We've been devalued since have been born. Since we have been born, we've been devalued by all the people that surround us. And then later to fuck it up even more by ourselves all the time. We're saying, oh, you're so stupid, you're a brute. There shouldn't be any judgment in us, but we can't dialogue with us is that we've done something in a way that is satisfactory, or we can better it, but not judgments. And that is even difficult for me to do. You do something, you're such an idiot. How stupid, fucking shit that bore you. The fucking bitch that bore you. At least, but if I insult myself, what a son of a bitch. No. That cannot be there. That cannot be there. It's difficult for us. Our words, in the 4 degrees that I mentioned once, in that famous book, our words must be impeccable. And it is precisely a part of what I've taught you. But what? Do we practice it? No. We're just apprentices. And I recognize myself as an apprentice. But that's what I'm doing. Bettering, all the time bettering. Because I want to be better. Because I'm the best. The cat? Give it to me. Here comes the kitty. Give me that cat. How heavy. He weighs like 6 kilos, 7 kilos, 8 kilos, 16 pounds. Look, you're going to start with meow, 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 meow. They have a great me, these guys do. A great ego. What a cute cat. What a beauty. You see it, right? You see the little cat there? Look at those eyes. What beautiful eyes. This one, when he sees people, he hides. In other words, Leslie grabbed him now, because until the last of you doesn't leave, he doesn't come out from below anywhere, the office, he hides. Oh, and now I see him there. And he says, oh, but once they leave, he comes out. Urami, and he comes on, oh, what a cute cat. Oh, he's so heavy. He's so heavy. What a beautiful cat. Spectacular cats, that eyes that cat has. So then, we are what we want to be. Psalm 78, 1 through 2. Oh, my people, hear my teachings. Open your ears to what I say, because I shall speak by means of a parable. I shall teach you lessons that are hidden of our past. We are those crazies. Do you know it, my friends? We are crazy because we think that there is an eternal justice that is called to rule the world. We are crazy because we believe that we don't have a limit, because we believe that we can do everything. We are crazy because I am. Suck at the liberty's breast. You will always carry her within the heart. They may corrupt you. You may even forget. But she is always there. Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry, the crazies, those who left, those who are in prison. Today I awoke singing this song, which has been written a long time ago, and it is necessary to sing it one more time. The destiny is written, decreed. The end is a reality, and it's inevitable. Semper Fi. God, the true God, is Argentinian and is a Boca fan, Zenese. And today we shall win. Tomorrow we shall win. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve. Crowned with glory, let us live, or we swear with glory to die. Alleluia to every one of you. Long live the true God, the God that is Argentinian, which is Zenese. Long live Boca Juniors. This great big applause is dedicated for every one of us. It's an applause for me. You have to say this applause is for me. To my me number two, who takes so much abuse and stupid things and speaks to you, and he shows you, and you crush him. You crush him. No, you have to vindicate him. Me number two, who's the powerful one. Alleluia to every one of you. If you like this in any way, give us a like and a comment. And if you like to be a part of the Messiah, of course, we need your tithes and offerings in order for this to be a reality that is even sooner, because it is a reality. But you start to visualize it and to act with all the respect that it deserves. Long live the Messiah. Long live every one of you. Alleluia to every one of you.